here at the Design Summit in New York. I'm very pleased to have Ustap with me, and also Bob, who is from St Mark's Bookshop, and we're talking about a collaboration that you've both done. But to begin, Bob, hello, welcome.
Hi.
Tell me about St Mark's Bookshop. What is it that you wanted, that you brought in Ustap and friends from Clouds?
There's a backstory here. We conducted an Indiegogo campaign to raise money to move from 3rd Avenue to a new location on East 3rd Street and Avenue A. This was a year and a half ago. And during the campaign, we received donations from all kinds of people, including this man and his partner, Masa. Along with their donation, they said, if you need architectural consultation, we're available. Now, we had architects from our previous store for 21 years, and they became our friends, but they couldn't do the new store because they were booked. So we called them, we met with them, they presented a sketchy idea of how they could use the space, and it clicked. So the space now has won an award for interior design, and one of the aspects is accidental. There's a curved wall in the store that has everybody commenting that comes to visit. And the reason for that wall is that we couldn't move the plumbing, so we had to build around it. And they came up with a design that encloses the office area, the bathroom, without moving the plumbing. And
which is expensive to move plumbing, let's face it.
Exactly. And it's striking. It also presents the books in a very dramatic fashion. Since the wall is curved, it draws people in, draws people to the back of the store. It works beautifully. Okay,
so Ostap, tell me a bit about taking on this project, and I'm interested to see what the design solutions were. That's fantastic, but also how these sorts of solutions have, I suppose, improved the life of the bookstore, helped it in its selling books. I mean, that's the job of a bookstore, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. So I mean, we're both Mas and I are longtime fans of St. Mark's Bookshop. We've been going there for many years, and so we've been following their kind of plight and the difficulties they had at the original location. So we're very happy to be involved, very excited to be involved in a transition to the new space. One of the demands of the new space functionally was that the space be somewhat open to allow for events, so like readings and other types of events in the space. So what we did conceptually is to basically wrap the perimeter of the store with the shelving and basically pull the shelving out to create the office space, which is concealed, as Bob mentioned. What we also wanted to do, and this goes into the kind of the selling and the kind of business end of it, is to increase the serendipity, right? The opportunity for people to come across something that they may not be looking for, which bookshops are great for, right? I mean, when you're online, your experience is so focused and targeted that you don't really. It's like you have your blinders on and you get what you're looking for immediately. But in a bookshop, you have the opportunity to come across things that you may not be looking for. Like you're walking by all these other books, all these other titles, and that pulling a book that you weren't necessarily looking for and opening it and discovering something. For me, it's been sort of a very wonderful experience, and I think it's something that everybody can sort of relate to, right? That kind of serendipity.
So, Bob, what is it that you wanted other than? I mean, you said you had an architecture firm that you'd worked with before. They weren't free, so these guys came along, which was great. But what is it that you wanted that you knew for this move to the new location would keep the store running in terms of the community that it already had, but also bring in new customers?
Well, we wanted to create an open space with a lot of light. Our previous space had only incandescent and I forget the name of the the kind of light, LED lighting. Yeah. This space had great windows, and in fact it has windows in the back of the store that we have partially covered with bookcases, but they still let a lot of light in. And it creates a kind of open area, which is we found very good for a bookstore.
But it's an opportunity also to bring in new people, ones that aren't familiar with St. Mark's as well.
People walking by on the street can see in.
Yeah.
We have 2 big windows that are only partially used for books, and you can look into the store and you can see what there is to see, which is pretty much the whole store.
Yeah.
So it's very inviting.
Maybe I'll stop. You can help me with this. The climate of selling books these days is a difficult one. People are buying online. You're getting it through Amazon. All these other kinds of locations. The experience of being in a bookstore, however, is something that you kind of can't rival. So, what is it that the design can do to encourage that? The art of literally filtering through books and enjoying that moment.
There's several factors, or I guess components to that. I mean, number one is like the location of the new store was a little bit off, like the kind of main sort of thoroughfare. So it needed to be more of a destination rather than something that you sort of happen upon. So in that regard, we were very conscious of the kind of the image of the store and the kind of the portability of that image beyond the physical location to attract people to actually go there and see it. And then once you're there, then I think the experience we're looking for is sort of like smoothing out the shelves and sort of opening it up so it's all visible and sort of in a way seamless, right? So the detail of the way the shelves are made, like pronouncing the kind of horizontality of the banding has a very distinct effect on how you see it, how you perceive it, and then also canting out the bottom of the shelves so that you can actually see the titles more easily than if they were purely vertical. So kind of making it more of an enveloping and welcoming space and making it open and sort of accessible and you can see the store.
And for you, Bob, how has the move and the design assisted or even transformed how customers experience the store from your point of view?
Well, most of the customers who visit for the first time are pleased to offer feedback about how they feel about the new store, because it's quite different from the old store. And most people like it better, I have to say. I mean, it's smaller.
Do you like it better?
I like it better myself.
Good.
Because it's open. Yeah. And it takes a while to appreciate that fact. But, a lot of people come in and they're just struck by the look of the store and the way the shelves curve, and it doesn't look like every other bookstore you've been in. So everything fits together very well. The lighting is great. And one thing that OSAP didn't mention is that we do have a lot of events. We have readings at the store, but we have these portable tables that are in the middle of the store that we can break down and move out of the way for readings, and we have chairs we can set up. So that's a great versatile aspect of the design to be able to do that.
But it also leads on to what I was saying before, in this climate where we're buying online so much, this idea that you have a space that is for events where you can meet and greet, that is absolutely pivotal when you're having a bookstore in this climate today. Would that be right?
Oh, yeah. Very much so, really. For a number of reasons, really. The experience of going to a bookstore is that it's a showcase for what's being published. And a small bookstore like ours is curated. So you're not seeing a lot of trash, you're not seeing a lot of commercial junk. You're seeing what we think of as the best that's being published. And the advantage to doing that is that you're offering your customers the cream of the crop. And you really don't have the space to do what Barnes & Noble does, for example, to have big pyramids of commercial books that the publishers pay for. You get a sense of taste, and you get a sense of the fact that, well, these are the important books that are available now. Somebody might be coming in looking for poetry or literature, and they're not really interested in science or mathematics or world politics, but we have a selection in all subject areas up at the front of the store with the new titles. So you get a chance to see everything that we have in the store in one area. So if you're interested, you can go to the subject area in particular, but this gives you an idea of the breadth of the store.
I'll start working with Bob, working with the client. Can I get a sense of what that was like? How did you push Bob to do something new or different? I'm curious. What did you do?
Well, I think both Bob and Terry, the other owner, I think they're super receptive to new ideas, and they're very welcoming to the designs that we proposed. It was a super accelerated process where I think we literally had like a week and a half or 2 weeks for the design, and then like a month for the build out, and it was a very compressed process. So I think we were very happy that Bob and Terry were very open-minded and accepting of the design, and I think that it proved to be a very good collaboration in that regard. And I think maybe part of it is the schedule too, that we just had to kind of move, right? And we had to get it done. So
no waiting around.
No.
Get to it. What about the bottom line? Has this move and the design, how has it impacted on sales?
Here's the dark side of the story. Ever since we moved into the new space, we've been struggling financially because of the cost overruns. We had to be out of our old space by a certain date. We had to sign a stipulation, and our new space wasn't ready yet. We had to go into storage for almost a month, and that cost us that business, plus the storage fees and moving fees and everything else. So since we've been in the new space, we haven't really been able to stock the store to the extent that we would like. It's been a sort of like a Band-Aid effect. We've been able to do a little of this and a little of that, but we haven't had the scope that we were used to in the old store. And we've started a fundraising campaign. Can I mention this?
Of course.
Okay. It's on GoFundMe, and so if you look it up online, it's GoFundMe/Save St. Mark's. And in less than 24 hours, we've raised over $4,000.
Right.
So we have an ambitious goal in mind, but we have a lot of support. Before we moved, we had a petition that someone else actually started, not the bookstore. We weren't involved, but we had 44,000 signatures to try to reduce our rent in the old space, to no avail. But now we're starting over. And we really need to stock the store, bring people back in, and present, the store as it used to be, really.
Yeah. St. Mark's, GoFundMe.
Exactly.
That's the one.
Right.
I'll fund you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who else will fund? Hands up? Yeah, I think you've got a whole crowd here who'd love it. Yeah.
Great.
I'll stop as well. Well, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to hear about the project, hear about your designs, to hear about the store. I wish you all the best with the move as it currently is, and time to fund you, I think, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.